immigration plan proposed by President Bush goes through?
The problem with this immigration plan is it has no real unifying purpose. It's a typical Washington mess. It's everybody compromises, 4 or 5 compromises, and the compromises leave you with the following conclusion. The litmus test you should have for legislation is it going to make things better? And when you look at these compromises, it is quite possible it will make things worse. The organizing purpose should be that our immigration laws should allow us to identify everyone who is in this country that comes here from a foreign country. They should have a tamper-proof ID card. It should be in a database that allows you to figure out who they are, why they're here, make sure they're not illegal immigrants coming here for a bad purpose. And then to be able to throw out the ones who are not in that database. We can do that. Credit card companies take care of data that is greater than that.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to get to Senator McCain in a moment, but first, Governor Romney, Senator McCain has accused you of flip-flopping on this issue. In effect, yesterday in Miami, he said the following: pandering for votes on this issue while offering no solution to the problem amounts to doing nothing, and doing nothing is silent amnesty. What do you say to Senator McCain?
Well, he's my friend. He campaigned for me 2 times, and I consider him a friend. I'm not going to make this a matter of personal politics. It's an issue that's way too important for that. My view is that we should enforce our immigration laws. And this bill, unfortunately, has at least one provision that's a real problem. It's the Z visa. And what it allows is people who've come here illegally to stay here for the rest of their lives. It's not necessarily as citizens. They have to wait 13 years to become citizens. That's not the point. The point is every illegal alien, almost everyone, under this bill gets to stay here. That's not fair to the millions and millions of people around the world that would love to come here, join with family members, bring skill and education that we need. It's simply not fair to say those people get put ahead in the line of all the people who've been waiting legally to come to this country.
All right, Senator McCain, this is your chance. I'd like you to respond as someone who is the co-author of this legislation.
Well, first of all, I agree with Judd Gregg. He's a great senator. Second of all, Rudy, you just described our legislation, so I'd be glad to have further conversation with you because it does account for people who are here illegally. It does have an employment verification system, and it weeds out those who shouldn't be here, and it gives others a chance to remain in this country. Look, this is a national security issue, first and foremost. Ever since 9/11, it's a national security issue. People came to Fort Dix, New Jersey from across our southern border and tried to kill our soldiers. For us to do nothing is silent and de facto amnesty. What we have done is what you expect us to do, my friends, and that's come together with the President of the United States, the leader of our party, Democrat and Republican, conservative Republicans like John Kyle, Johnny Isakson, Saxby Chambliss, and Trent Lott, and sit down and figure out an approach to this problem. And it is a serious national security problem. We need to act, my friends, and if someone else has a better idea, I'd love to have them give it to us.
Thank you, Senator. Hold on.
Yeah, that can get, that will get the support of enough people so that we can pass legislation. This isn't the bill that I would have written, but it does.
All right.
It does satisfy our national security challenges, which are severe and intense, and we cannot allow 12 million people washing around America illegally, my friends. And I hope you'll examine the legislation, and I hope we can move forward with it, and we can make it better. But it's our job to do the hard things,
Mayor,
not the easy things.
I've read the 400 pages, and this is part of the problem in Washington. They say things, and then it's not in the legislation. There are 4 or 5 different methods of identification, not one. It does not provide information about who exited the United States. Now, tell me how you're going to figure out who's in the United States if you can't figure out who's left the United States. And finally, it doesn't provide for a uniform database. Many countries have this. The United States doesn't have it. On September 11, when we tried to figure out who was in this country, it took weeks to figure out who were the right people and who weren't, because there isn't such a database.
Mayor,
and that is a
thank you.
fatal flaw in this legislation, and wishing it away doesn't make it possible.
Governor Romney, what would you do with the 12 million or so illegal immigrants who are right now in this country?
Well, one is to enforce the law as it exists. The law that was passed in 1986, the law passed in 1986 asked for us to secure the border and said also to put in place an employment verification system. Neither one of those was done, so let's make sure that we enforce the law as it exists. And if you want to improve this bill, well, one thing you could do to make it better is to take that Z visa and make it temporary instead of a permanent right to stay in America. That's simply just not fair.
All right. I want to stay on immigration. Everybody's going to have a chance to weigh in, but let's go back to Tom for another question on immigration.
Thank you. Congressman Hunter, whether we like it or not, in cities across America, counties across America, including your district in San Diego, illegal immigrants are doing jobs that American citizens don't want, working on farms and hotels, restaurants. If you have your way and they all leave this country, who's going to fill those jobs?
Well, first, I disagree with that premise because when they made the sweep on the SWIFT plants, those were the meat packaging plants in Iowa, took out some 850 people who were working there illegally several months ago. There were American citizens lined up the next day to get their jobs back at $18 an hour. Now, and let me tell you, this is a disastrous bill, and if John McCain is right in saying that this is a national security issue, and it is, border enforcement,